Welcome everyone, my name is Faulkner. I'm the online event coordinator for staff development for educators, and I'd like to thank you for joining us today for Make Every Child a Writer, tricks and tips to get kids excited about writing pre-K through first with Palma Lindsay. Before we start, there are a few things you should know. To allow for Palma to be heard clearly, attendee microphones are muted. We do invite you to use the questions text box on your screen throughout the webinar to submit any questions for our Q&A period at the end. Any audio or video problems you might experience during the presentation can usually be solved by closing any other programs or applications you might have open on your computer. The session is being recorded, and you should receive a link to the archive within 48 hours. And finally, at the end of today's presentation, you will see a short survey, and by completing that survey, you do assist us in providing future complimentary webinars. For those who might not know us, Staff Development for Educators provides professional development for pre-K through 12 educators through on-site PD, PD events, web-based PD, and PD resources. We empower educators with research-based, innovative, and rigorous PD that's practical, motivating, and fun. We're happy to have Palma Lindsay joining us today. Palma is a kindergarten teacher who stayed on the cutting edge of educational research and technology throughout her 37-year classroom career. She has taught grades K through 8, serves as a mentor to new teachers, and shares her fun ideas in her innovative blog, K Fundamentals. Her sessions are jam-packed with new and fresh ways to keep the fun in the fundamentals. So let's get going. At this point, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Palma.
Thank you, Faulkner. I hope everyone can hear me. I am Palma Lindsay, and this is a little snippet of my classroom, a wonderful big classroom in Southern California where I was able to teach for 37 years. Yes, I started when I was 2.5, but now I go ahead and I present conferences all over the country and in Canada for SDE. So I'll get started with Let's Make Every Child a Writer. What we're going to cover in our short period of time, our 30 minutes, we're going to talk a little bit about the emergent writer, informative writing, opinion writing, and narrative writing, which are part of the standards in all of the states. And we're going to be giving away some prizes. Now, everyone will be getting the month-to-month writing set, which is really wonderful. But we also have a flash drive of a variety of writing activities that we're going to be giving to one winner, and 2 winners are each going to win a year of ESGI, which is an online assessment. Now, this is the set everyone will be getting. It's the handout is available free. It's in the handout section of your viewer, and you get all of these writing prompts. And I like to use a variety of methods when I'm teaching writing, and writing prompts is just one part of my program. It's called month-to-month writing, and you'll find that you can use it every month of the year. This is just a little snippet of what you will be getting on the flash drive. It's 86 ready-to-use templates. It involves the instant writing, which I'm going to be going over during this session, and it includes the writing journals with rubrics, which I'll be going over during this session. And that flash drive of 86 templates will be going to one winner. And like I said before, 2 winners will get a year of ESGI. And if you haven't used ESGI or you don't know about it, you want to go ahead and take a look at their website at esgisoftware.com. If you put my code in KFUN, KFUN, you automatically receive, along with your 60-day free trial, you automatically qualify for $40 off of your first year. So let's just talk a tiny bit about the emergent writer. Now, basically, when children are trying to learn how to write and they really don't know how to write, we need to develop not just their letter sounds and their spelling, their grammar, and their sentence composition, but we need to develop oral language as well, because you can't really write unless you know how to put a sentence together. Now, emergent writing skills that are needed before you can start writing is children need to be able to match upper and lowercase letters and copy them, and writing from left to right. They need to understand multi-syllable words. They need to understand about segmenting and dividing syllables, identifying sounds, and knowing that each syllable has a vowel sound. Well, oftentimes children don't gain these skills until the end of kindergarten or even first grade. So how do we get them writing when they don't have these skills? And I'll show you a wonderful way to get children writing successfully without having all of these skills. Now, my last 3 years teaching, I taught a K, which is transitional kindergarten, K, combination. And so I had 4-year-olds in my classroom as well as 5-year-olds. And I'm going to show you methods that helped even my 4-year-olds to write. Now, this is just a little glance at what the final product will look like. On this blank template that says pink, green, blue, the child is going to glue on a little card that is pink, green, and blue. All of the pink cards will have nouns. This particular one says chick, like a baby chick. This particular verb, which all the verbs will be printed on green, says wrote. And there are 48 verbs, 48 nouns, and 48 additional nouns for the predicate that you get in this set. The last group, the blue set, would be a group of nouns that would be suitable for your predicate. So it will have like a place. It might be a mailbox or a house or a barn or something like that. So each template comes with 6 nouns, 6 verbs, and 6 more nouns for the predicate. And when you copy them on the different colors and you give them to the children, they instantly get 6 of each of them. And so you've got enough for 6 lessons right off the bat. But again, the kit comes with 8 of these pages. So you're really going to get 48 nouns, 48 verbs, and 48 nouns for the predicate. Now, all of my clip art is from DJ Inkers, and I even have a discount code for you. If you like DJ Inker clip art and you want to make your own cards, or you want to make anything else with DJ Inkers clip art, the code is KFUN, KFUN, and if you put that into your shopping cart, you can get 15% off through the end of February from DJ Inkers. So let's say I'm in my classroom and I copy maybe just 1 page of nouns, 1 page of verbs, and 1 page of nouns for the predicate. Now I have enough for 6 lessons, and each child gets a writing template. They write their name at the top, and if your student is extremely low, maybe they're even just learning English, they might just glue their pictures on and tell you what the sentence might be. Now I can make a lot of sentences out of the same 3 cards. This is a 4-year-old student. She is an English language learner. She came to school not speaking any English, and we gave her the bag of cards. Actually, she cut them apart and put them in the bag. We wrote her name on the bag with a Sharpie, and she got to reach in and pull 1 pink, 1 green, and 1 blue, and she placed them on her page. She glued them on her page, and she can look at the pictures to see what is going on, and I could tell her in English what the graphics represented. Now, these are my old graphics. My new ones are, actually, this is an old set from a published series. I made wonderful graphics from DJ Inkers, and I put the words on lined font. So she got to look at these particular words and come up with her own sentence. And of course, since she's just learning English, I helped her. Now, I also have another page that comes with this set. It's called the Helping Words page. And I would run this on yellow cardstock and laminate it, because when I laminate it, I now have a surface that is friendly to dry erase pens. So let's say this child wanted to write about the spider. She needed the word the with a capital T. Maybe she wanted to say a spider or my spider. Whatever she chose, I circled that word. Then she just had to copy it. Now, if there are any words that I have left off of this chart that your student might want, you can just add them right here. So let's say she wanted to write the spider. So I circled the, she copied it, then she copied the word spider from her noun card, and then she copied the verb, and then if she needed any other words to fill in, I can circle them for her until she composes the sentence. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but on this particular slide, this child is going to be not just writing, but reading "The cat cried at the zoo." And before I used the extra word page and before I had the cool new graphics, I would just write the words they needed on lined, dry erase, contact paper. And that's what is in front of this child. But I'm going to go ahead and play this video and see if you can hear them say, "The cat cried at the zoo." This is a 4-year-old. He wrote it with this tool, with this crutch, but he wrote a whole sentence, and I can remind him about the capitals, the spaces, and the period.
Read it one more time. The cat cried at the zoo.
Okay, so I hope you could hear that. Now, this is what the child's paper looked like. And now if the child is not ready to write, you could write it. You could write it with a highlighter and they could trace over it. So you can differentiate this for any level. Pre-emergent writer, you would just let them tell you the sentence. Emergent writer, you might write it in a highlighter, they would trace it. And a true emergent writer then would be able to just start copying. It's like learning how to play a piano. If I played a song for you first, and I wouldn't give you a music book and say, okay, here are the notes, now you do it. I would model it for you. I would let you do just part of it. I would let you copy me, and that's what we're doing here. We're using our copy skills to learn how to compose an entire sentence. Now you can make lots of sentences out of chick wrote in mailbox. Your chick wrote on the mailbox, my chick wrote near the mailbox, that chick wrote on the mailbox. It can be a million different sentences, but they get to come up with their own. Here's another one. The lion finds money at the store. So first Liam just said store. The lion draws at the store. Look at that face. This was his first sentence that he ever wrote. He's 4 years old at this time, and he was successful. And he's excited to take this home and to talk about the capital and the spaces and the period at the end. So this is just one of the methods that I used. But when you go ahead and you get the instant writing kit, which is on my Teacher Pay Teacher store, there's a bit.ly for you. It's just a shortened URL, bit.ly/instant writing is case sensitive, so you do need a capital I and a capital W. But if you want to make your own, take a screenshot of that, go get yourself some graphics and make your own. I'm perfectly fine with that too. Well, Faulkner, if we could take a look at who's listening today. We do have a flash drive filled with 86 templates for our listeners. While I'm giving a tip, an extra little tip, maybe Faulkner can find us a winner, and I will, we've got all of your email information, and we'll contact you, or I'll let Faulkner tell you how to contact us, and I will be the one actually sending you the flash drive.
Okay.
Do we have a winner?
Let's say Chelsea Johnson. And what we'll do is I've got Chelsea's email address and information, so we'll be in touch.
Great. I'm going to write down Chelsea's name because I'll be looking forward to finding out where to send this flash drive. So here's my tip. Have you ever used one of these great big pencils, you know, the kind you get at the fair? And they're fun, but they're kind of awkward. Well, that's how children feel when they're using those great big long pencils, even if they're the fat Ticonderoga ones, which I love. So I take them home, I cut them in half with a hacksaw. Half of them will still have erasers, the other half won't, and that's okay. I can put erasers on the table. But by giving children shortened pencils, it makes writing so much easier for them. Now, you could use little golf pencils. I've seen those too. But I like these because they're big, bulky, they're chunky, and they're triangular. But any pencil you use, if you can cut it in half, really helps. So let's talk a little bit about daily writing. These are my journals. It's just a basic template, which I will show you, and a cover. And I number them. I number them based on the student number. And I just wanted to show you that when children are done writing, they give me their journals and I place them into the bin in the order they gave them to me. So student 19 and student 18, they gave me their journals pretty quickly. Student 4 needed more time. So tomorrow, guess who gets their journal first? Student 4, student 5, student possibly 1. They'll need more time, so they get their journals first. And this is what my journals look like. The icons on the side, excuse me, remain the same all year long. They get credit if they wrote their name on their paper. Wow, if you wrote your name there, I'm going to put a dot here with a marking pen. That means you get to color in this icon. Icon 2 says, I used spaces between my words. Icon 3 was 2 parts, excuse me, says I used a capital and a period. Icon 4 says I sound blended. Now, if you sound blended and you didn't sound blend correctly, that's okay, because if you attempted to sound blend, perhaps you got the first letter correct on the word that you didn't know, you get credit for trying to sound blend. And if you wrote neatly and it was neat for you, you get that one. I write the total amount of points. You get to go back and color them in. But first, you draw. We have them draw first what they are going to write. Now, sometimes they write a predetermined sentence that I give them to copy. Sometimes I give them a prompt and they just fill in the last word. Sometimes they get to write freely because, like I said before, I use a variety of techniques. And just to make it fun, I have seasonal rubrics, and guess what? The words inside are exactly the same in the same order as the ones with the pencils. But this is my winter rubric, spring, summer, fall, just to make it fun. Staple 10 to 15 pages of these with a cover, and there is your journal. Here's a bit.ly if you're watching the archived version of this and you want to pick up the journals. You would get all 4 of these plus the pencil journal at this URL. And it's also part of my flash drive that someone will be winning. So let's say this child came up to me and they didn't write their name on their paper. I wouldn't put a dot here. But they did use spaces between their words. They did use a capital and a period. And look, they tried to sound blend. I like to write. Now, I, like, and to are sight words. I'm expecting them to know that. Of course, it would be an illustration here. This child gets 4 points. I hand them their journal back, and they go and sit on the carpet and color in icons. That gives the other children who need time to finish to get their writing done. Then, let's say this child, maybe it's child number 19, remember one of the early finishers, comes up, they're done, their icons are filled in. I might look to see which icon they didn't get credit for, or maybe they got all the icons. I might just pick any icon and say, will you be my helper? Will you go around to the children who are still sitting on the carpet writing? Will you be my Captain Capital? And will you check for capital letters? Because that journal page is not a test. That journal page is a practice. And I want them to be successful, and I want them to get all their icons colored in. So they just go around with a whisper voice and they point to any person's journal who has a capital and says, good job, you included a capital. Or they say, could you please erase that and change that first word to have a capital? Maybe they're looking for the period at the end. Will you be my punctuation pointer? Maybe they're looking for spaces between words. Will you be my space cadet? And check to see if children are leaving spaces between their words. Now, I got all 3 of these for $1 at the dollar store, and I just added labels, but you could use any pointers. You can have somebody be a neatness nurse looking for neat work, looking for illustrations that make sure that they have an illustration on their page. You can have several that say punctuation pointer. Make it work for you so that the early finisher is interacting and having fun. Another one of my techniques is to give children words already framed. Now, I was working with getting spaces between words. Isn't this a perfect way? If you have to glue the words on so they're not touching, you're leaving spaces between your words. And then you can also have them add a period at the end. So just take simple sentences that maybe you've typed up and put a little rectangle around each one and pass them out, and the children cut them out and glue them on their journal and make sure that their illustration matches their writing. What I normally do on the journals is the very first page is a free write, and they try to write something, maybe something they like at school. I might give them a general topic, what do you like to do after school? But they get to write whatever they want. But the next several pages in the journal, we copy. And if you notice, I use lots of sight words. We copy, and then they fill in a blank. So everybody on page 2 wrote, I see my. And then they could write whatever they wanted. I see my hand, I see my friend, I see my pencil, and this is where I look to see if they're able to sound blend. Then the next day, I reveal the next sentence. Boys, girls, today we're going to write the yellow sentence. And we copy, because copying is a skill that needs to be honed as well. Here are more sight words. Here is a what? Here is a cat here. And they learn very, very quickly that cat is a lot easier to spell than Disneyland. So when we get to, I like to go to Disneyland, we might have a few children try that, but most children are like, I like to go to the park. But it's a little easier for me to write. I said I have the what? The keys, the food, the picnic basket, whatever they want to write. And then after several days of copying, we go back to a free write, and then I easily can compare the first free write on page 1 to the last free write to see if there was growth in terms of capitals, spaces, all the mechanics, the neatness, sound blending, ability to write from left to right, whatever the skills are that I am looking for. So how do I assess all these writing skills? If we're just writing in journals, where's my worksheet? Where's my test? I like to use ESGI. And if you aren't already using ESGI, you're going to want to at least click on there and see their little videos at esgisoftware.com. Again, if you try it for 60 days and all you have to do is put in your students' names, there are built-in tests. If you have to use certain tests that your district mandates, like my district did, you can make your own that match your district's tests. In fact, I even have tests in there that I've created. There's a bit.ly, so you could go to the website quickly and easily, bit.ly/ all capitals ESGI code. That will already put the K-Fun code in there. So let's say I have to test something like a letter name or a number or a sight word. Well, that's going to pop up on the screen, and the teacher clicks yes or no, whether or not they have that. But what if it's something more ambiguous or more a little bit more difficult to test? It's not just one letter, like the concept of leaving spaces between words. Well, I could type that in. That's my own test. This child, can they leave spaces between words? Click yes if the student consistently leaves spaces between their words. Well, I just look at their journal. Did they consistently leave spaces between their words? Yes. So why do I click yes? Because of data. It gives me bar graphs. And if I click on the green, it tells me who specifically mastered that skill, who began with a capital, who didn't in the gray. So here, leaving spaces between words, who couldn't do it? Well, these 3 children, Mary Poppins, Donald Duck, and Minnie Mouse, were not able to leave spaces between their words. It also lets me drive my instruction. I don't need to work on identifying the front cover of a book. Everybody has that skill. I need to work on these 3 skills and then these that are not tested yet. And I color code my test backgrounds so I know that this was the first grading period, blue is the second grading period, and so on. I absolutely adored ESGI. It was one of my favorite things ever to use in my classroom, and I hope that you like it too. We're going to be giving away 1 free year of ESGI to a lucky winner. So I've got a tip for you, but go ahead, Faulkner, and see if you can pick a free winner. Now, if you already have ESGI, just let us know, and I will make sure you get a different prize.
All right. The name that I have picked was Jennifer McClymans.
Well, congratulations, Jennifer. And again, let us know if you already have ESGI, and I will take care of you. Here's my other tip. You know those 3-ring binders we all get with so many different staff developments, and then they tell you to empty it because the staff development changed and we're going to do something else. If you give them to children, we call them our floor easels. And if the children write on the carpet on a slanted surface, it's almost impossible for them to write their letters from the bottom up. And this is how we stored them. Fat edge forward, fat edge back, fat edge forward, fat edge back. Do you see the AB pattern? So I'm integrating a little bit of a patterning skill. It's not a standard any longer, but it's still an important skill. So floor easels for the children to write on. So there's different kinds of writing, and we're just going to quickly go through these. The informative writing, this is the standard that applies to most states, even if states have adopted their own standards. So we would make a book all about triangles. What is a triangle? Oh, a triangle is a Dorito. Well, while the children are tracing, and I would do this the first week of school, while the children are tracing, a triangle is I'm going around and asking them, what is a triangle? A Dorito? This is how you write Dorito. I write it down, they copy it, and they put the period at the end. draw a Dorito here, we make a whole class book about triangles. We did that for circles, squares, rectangles as well, and that took our first week. If you give them a graphic organizer, maybe the topic is Disneyland. What are some details the teacher is going to write? Do not tell me about your dog. Dogs are not allowed at Disneyland. Tell me about your favorite rides, what you like to eat, did you have fun? And then we take the words that I've written on the chart and we create sentences out of them. I would only have them write one sentence a day. Informative writing, label things around your classroom. The children might start out by writing, and I would do this closer to spring, something simple like, I like plants, I like leaves, I like roots, and they're using the word bank that I'm giving them here. But they will quickly move to, I like plants. Some have petals. They need roots. They will quickly get into more involved sentences if you give them the word bank to use. So to write informatively, I used graphic organizers. Opinion writing. Let's face it, they all want to give you their opinion. They want to tell you how they feel about something. So let's give them a fun way to do it. After a unit on national symbols, I asked them, which was your favorite national symbol? And on my flag template that I created, they illustrated their favorite national symbol, and then they wrote, I like the sight words, right? They copied White House, but I gave them the word because, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. Tell me why you liked it. This child says, it is big and it has a lot of windows. And then we colored in between with the broken, peeled red crayons to put in the stripes. Looks like a flag from afar, but it was writing. And there's the flag template you could get at my Teacher Pay Teacher store, but it's also part of that flash drive. Here's my because song. Now, I'm no singer. When I sing here at the house, my family plays Guess That Tune, but I'm going to sing for you to the town of Camptown Racers so you could teach your kids the because song, and then they could use it in their writing. It goes like this. B-E-C-A-U-S-E, because, B-E-C-A-U-S-E, because. And if they learn that song, they can use it in their writing. When I grow up, I will be, she wanted to be a farmer because, and she would explain why. That's a fun activity to do for open house. The writing templates you're going to be getting for free in the handout section of your viewer is also available at bit.ly/monthwriting if you are watching the archived version of this webinar. Fun opinion writing, like, would you rather have a beard like Lincoln or a wig like Washington? Or would you rather be a reindeer, a snowman, a gingerbread man, or an elf? And tell me why. For narrative writing, here's your standard. It's just the same as the other standards in terms of using a combination of drawing, dictating, and writing, but this time they're going to narrate an event. To narrate an event, they have to be able to retell an event. They need to be able to name the characters or the setting of a story. This was the Three Bears. Name the problem or the solution. Here we're acting it out. Have them act out stories before asking them to write about them, and give them organizers. Like this was a setting envelope for the gingerbread man. The gingerbread man started in the kitchen but moved to the river. So we had one setting on one side of the envelope. Here's the kitchen. And then one setting on the other side of the envelope. And inside were the characters. And they practiced retelling the story before trying to write a narrative. Have them organized. These are chart size, the size of a piece of tag board, laminated. Draw the characters of the Three Bears. Draw the setting. Draw the sequence of events before you have them write. And they did the same with Jack and the Beanstalk. They talked about the characters, setting, and three things that happened. Okay, and I would do one sentence a day with them in a small group setting, and I would do this kind of an activity in the spring. Okay, let's get a discount code again for DJ Inkers. Anything that you purchase there, the code is KFUN, K-F-U-N, at djinkers.com, and there's a bit.ly for you, DJ Inkers, all lowercase. And one more tip and a prize for another year of VSGI.
All right. Are you ready for a name?
Sure,
All
we're ready
right.
for a name.
We've got Kelly Mercado.
Congratulations. So if do they contact you, Faulkner, or do you
Um,
contact them?
what we'll do is I've got everybody's email addresses, so we'll get in touch with people afterwards.
Great. Great. Okay, one last tip, sight words. They need lots of sight words and they need them up all the time. So it looks like we're ready to do the word like. I would have the children give me a sentence using that word. I underline the word and they get to sign it. Slap and sight words. You have them slap a particular word on the way out the door. And this was the air conditioning vent outside my classroom and it was so dusty. But before I cleaned it, I decided let's just write some sight words in the dust. So I wrote my, and they were so excited to see the word my written in the dust. Put sight words around your classroom wherever you can. So I hope that I was able to answer your questions about informative opinion narrative writing and get kids writing. All my social media is available here, so you could join me on Facebook or my blog. I want to thank SDE for allowing me to share this information with you, and know that we're all available to come to your school to present professional development, but also it looks like they're giving you 10% off for 1 month after this live web brief. And I just wanted to let you know that I will be just before the end of February presenting in Ohio, Alabama, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Oklahoma before the end of February. I'll be in New England in March and at I Teach K in Las Vegas in July, and also at Splash in Texas in July. And Faulkner, did you want to tell us anything about bringing presenters to their school?
Absolutely. And actually, I'm just going to take a minute as well and see if anybody does have any last questions that they wanted to get in. Now's the time. And as Palma said, if you use that web brief discount, you can save 10% off both PD events or on-site training within your school by using that promo code WebBrief before February 17th, 2018. And also, as Palma said, she is going to be at a number of the kindergarten conferences across the country, and we encourage you to use that WebBrief code to save 10% and join her there as well. And you can find out more about those at sde.com/events. And also the 2018 National Conference in Las Vegas, July 9th through 13th. You can join thousands of other educators with hundreds of expert presenters, including Palma. And it really is one of the largest PD events for educators and really an experience you won't forget. It's full details for that, and registration is at sde.com/national. And as Palma mentioned, if you can't make it to a seminar or conference, we're always ready to provide customized on-site or web-based training that meets your school or district's unique needs. And for more information about events or training, give us a call at 877-388-2054 or visit sde.com. And we do encourage you to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest with the username SDE4Educators with the number 4, and follow Palma online on her blog at kfundamentals.blogspot.com. And so, let me see. Well, we've got a number of people actually asking about the archives, and yes, the webinar is archived and should be available, barring any technical difficulties, in about 48 hours. And okay, I'm going to get to the first question here for you, Palma. And I believe this one came through towards the beginning. And Leslie was asking, can special needs students or emergent writers or ESL use this also? I'm not sure if there was a specific tip or trick that Leslie was asking about. Leslie, if you're still with us and you want to shoot me a response on that and clarify that, then I'll share that with Palma as well. And
Absolutely. They could use this, absolutely, because this is developing oral language, and that's exactly what you want to do before they start writing. They can't really start writing unless they can say something, and so we want to, by giving them those 3 cards, the noun, the verb, and the noun for the predicate, it gets them composing a sentence, and your English language learners then also can learn about English syntax, because then you could discuss with them how you would put a sentence together and what order the words would actually go.
All
Okay, I
right, and
hope
it
that
looks,
helps.
yep, and it looks like our last question was just another question about the month-to-month writing file. And just a reminder that until we shut down, that is available in the handouts section of your web brief viewer. I'm going to give everybody another minute or so to make sure that they have time to access that. And let me see. And I think that that covers everything that we have. Palma, I don't know if you wanted to flip back to your all the social listings so that people can just take a quick look at that. And if you are
Sure.
interested, there is a screenshot button on the viewer as well. You can hit that, get a screenshot, and find all the different ways that you can get in touch with Palma. And I think that's it. I think we're done. And I'd like to remind everybody again, the archive of the presentation will be available in 48 hours. I'd like to thank Palma for joining us today. I hope everyone enjoyed today's presentation and that you all have a great rest of the day. Thanks, folks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.